I know that song.
Everyone knows that song.
With Bendy and the ink machine drawing to a close, many questions are left for us to figure out. It seems that we've been fed clues all along throughout our entire journey, but now it's time to retrace our steps and find the answer we overlooked. Where does Henry fit into all of this? And what exactly is going on in this inky world? I'll be having a Bit Frank tagging along for this one, who makes some pretty creepy and quirky animations on YouTube. In this video, we're going to be breaking down quite a lot, so make sure you've completed Chapter 5 so you don't spoil it for yourself. Still here? Awesome. So for those who have finished the game, we were left with quite a bizarre ending. We discovered that the Ink Demon has taken something that we need, and Henry, despite really having no sense of direction, decides he's going after him. Shortly after, we encounter a giant ink machine-like corridor in which we must now travel alone. We leave Boris and Alice behind as we dive into the ink, and Henry questions why he decided to go forward without asking for a weapon. Inside is when we encounter display cases in a great room that has a throne in the center of it. Surrounding the room is looping Bendy animations, and upon the throne is the final audio snippet in the game. This is Joey Drew's last audio log, and within it, he tells Henry how to defeat Bendy once and for all. All cartoons have a beginning and an end, but Bendy has never witnessed his ending. Thus, Henry must show this demon the end to his story, and with his goal in place, Henry must run for his life as a terrifying ink demon transforms before him. He must loop around through the studio and lure Bendy back into the same room in which he will then defeat him. By witnessing the ending, Bendy evaporates before Henry along with the inky world they dwell in. And then something odd happens. We enter what appears to be Joey Drew's house in the real world. There's noteworthy papers pinned to the walls, drawings of our horrific venture on a table, and an old Joey within the kitchen. Joey begins to talk about how Henry always has questions, and that him and Henry took two different life paths. Henry chose the life of a loving family, while Joey chose the path of a crooked empire that eventually collapsed. Joey concludes that Henry was always good at pushing him to do the right thing, but his tone of voice changes slightly when he says that you should have pushed a little harder. After this statement, Joey tells Henry to come visit the old workshop, and as the camera pans to a damaged door in the kitchen, Henry walks into the Forsaken studio and the game seemingly starts anew, which is baffling to some degree. So what exactly just happened? At first glance, it might seem like Joey Drew is being sincere, but the truth is, he's set a trap. The moment Henry stepped into that kitchen, his fate was sealed, and the cycle of Bendy and the ink machine began. What we actually just saw wasn't the ending of the story after we defeated Bendy, it was the beginning. And the small outside glimpse shapes everything we've experienced within the game.
Now, at this point in the story, we're actually presented with two concepts that could very well be happening. Immediately, someone may think that based on the drawings we saw on the desk, we're simply living out the viewpoint of Joey Drew in his latest Bendy installment. This Bendy series rendition being his self-reflection on his past and how dark it all truly was. He set out to create something so jolly, but due to how the working conditions were pretty terrible, this studio became something that the employees dreaded. But the thing is, our seeing tool is what eliminates this outlook, because in that sense, this fantasy world would have just been that, a world where nothing really mattered and no one was really affected. But when we unlock that tool for the whole game, we start seeing messages left behind. Messages we left behind.
As you've probably heard or even pieced together yourself, Henry is stuck in a time loop. These messages and scribbles we've seen throughout the game are the messages he has left behind to remind himself of his previous journeys. He steps into the studio, and the episodic series of events plays again up until Bendy is defeated, in which the world is reborn. We even see the number of times Henry has gone through this loop without finding a way out. Each time he traverses through it, his memory is seemingly wiped, just like everyone else's he encounters. People like Sammy claim to remember us, although we've never met before. Henry is the only one with outside information, being the letter he thought he received at the start. But as he traverses on, memories can come flooding back in, given the actions he takes. And thus, this is why hallucinations take place. But we know we're in a repeating cycle beyond just the tally marks and the messages on the walls, because even the date at the end of the game seems to cycle out every time we finish it, Which is weird though, because technically this encounter with Joey Drew should really have been an inception point.
Now, this repeating timeline element is pretty similar to a lot of other indie titles we've played lately, like Undertale's repeating story to Doki Doki Literature Club's reboot. The act of removing ourselves from a linear story and solving a game's timeline to get a true ending is something quite interesting. Bendy and the Ink Machine is no different, because even though throughout the game we thought we were freeing these characters from the clutches of an ink demon, we were truly destined to set them free from an overarching, repeating nightmare.
They're part of a scripted cartoon sequence that plays over and over again, and that's why our seeing tool is extremely important to all of this. This device is more than just a lens of truth for seeing secret goodies. It's the one thing that can truly set everyone free. Allow me to explain. First and foremost, this device we have isn't exactly a seeing tool. It's what is normally called a lightbox. In the world of animation, a lightbox is one of the first stages in the animation process. On top of a lightbox, artists would sketch onto transparent paper the characters they are looking to bring to life. With light shining from below, they could then use the previous sketches as reference points for animating the next drawing. This is where animation was born, and once approved, that's when it would then be inked into a more permanent colored form. And this process is incredibly important because of what this lightbox contraption stands for. What we hold is created from a lightbox, with a handle attached and a power supply on top. It continually provides us with a frame of reference for the timelines that came before us, similar to how it would normally be used to see the drawings that were drawn before. But this tool is also the starting point of animation, a place where the rules and story are still being born and aren't decided yet. This is why I think the lightbox is actually how we break from the timeline. The lightbox is how we save everyone. Beyond the power to see, we have the power to interject. And I think the true way to beat Bendy and the Ink Machine is with that methodology. Breaking the repeating cycle might not mean escaping at the very end of the game. It could mean breaking it at the beginning. It could mean finding a way out in Chapter 3. Once the cycle is broken, everyone will be set free and can eternally rest. We have to figure out where the hole exists, and I imagine it's going to be in the most unlikely of places. We have to find the way out, and the mess of scribbles on the wall in Chapter 5 are more than likely the map to doing so. Bendy holds closely the way out. Perhaps that has double meaning. That is, assuming the way out can even be accessed at this point. Perhaps currently we need to find all the secrets and where they are pointing to. Maybe then, some sort of quick update could be released, containing the true ending, assuming it's not already within the game. But beyond that, there's still the mystery of the Ink Machine being within Joey's home, the voice of the niece at the end of the game, and how Joey held a portal to another world within his house. Not to mention the coffins and how they're associated with each character, including Henry. There's so much to answer still. But before signing off, at this point I think a lot of us have already realized how big of a metaphor Bendy and the Ink Machine truly is to the animation industry. From the grueling hours to the brutal labor conditions and the mental anguish of it all. Now of course this doesn't apply to all studios, but it's important to take note of this before jumping into the world of corporate animation. For an amazing deep dive into it all, I highly recommend watching AbitFrank's video on the scary truths of the animation industry. If you love the look of Bendy and the Ink Machine, you'll love her animation style. You can find a link to her video at the end of this one or in the description below. Also, let me know what your thoughts and theories are in the comments below. I love to read them in the meantime. You can even swing by to check out my Chapter 5 video about how I think Bendy and the Ink Machine's new book may hold a secret to solving the game's story. And with that, thanks for tuning in to this inky time loop. Be sure to subscribe for more, because I'll certainly be breaking down the remaining parts of the story. Thanks for watching, guys and gals, and until my next video, cheers.